Good day to you, viewers. I am welcoming you to my online tutorial. Today we want to have a look at a topic titled circle as related to mathematics. To start with, what is a circle? A circle is the locus of a point in a plane which moves such that its distance from a fixed point in that same plane is always constant. That constant distance is called radius of that circle. Alright, look at this. Let's say this is a plane XY, and let's say this is a point which is fixed. Then there's another point that is moving, but its movement is such that if you measure the distance from the fixed point to wherever the point gets to, the distance will be the same thing throughout. So that is what makes a circle, and that distance is called what? That constant distance is called radius. So that is why when you as drawing or constructing a circle, this is a fixed point, let's call it point C, and this is the radius with which the circle is drawn. Now, let us have a look at equation of a circle. Let's assume that we have a point in the plane XY located somewhere on the plane, and that point, let's call it point C, and the coordinate of that point C is A, comma B. Let's say A, comma B. Okay, then that is the fixed point. Now, let's assume this is a circle drawn. Then let's pick a point on the circumference of the circle. Let's call that one point P with coordinate X, Y. So that means if I join this point C to point P, I have eventually drawn the radius of the circle. So if I trace this point to the x-axis, that is where A is, and if I trace the same point to the y-axis, that is where B is. That is the coordinate A, comma B. The same thing, point P, if I trace it to the y-axis, that will be this value of y. Let me make this y capital letter, and this one capital letter. Okay, if we trace this point P down to the x-axis, that will be the x value. All right. So if I want to find the length of this line PC, length of line PC, how do I find that? By using the equation of a line or distance between 2 points. So line PC will be equals to x into bracket x minus a all squared plus into bracket y minus b all squared, then all square root. Now let's open this. If we open this, that means we are going to have PC, which is equal to x squared minus 2ax minus 2ax plus a square plus y square minus 2by plus b square. I am doing the expansion of the bracket all under square root. Alright? Now, let's remove the square root. That means that will be that square root is plus or minus. Take note of that. I want to remove the square root. What do I do to this side? I am going to square the other side. That means line PC square now will be equals to line PC square will be equals to, yeah, that will be rearranging x square plus y square minus 2ax minus 2by plus a square plus b square. Do not forget that line PC represents what? Radius. So definitely the radius of the circle can be written as follows. Alright, now this is the radius squared equals to. Now let's make everything equals to 0. That means we are going to have x squared plus y squared minus 2ax minus 2by plus a squared plus b squared minus r squared equals to 0. I have transferred r squared to the other side. So this 0 that is supposed to be here is what I wrote here now. Alright, so this is what we call general equation of a circle. But this can be reduced. If you notice from here to here, a square plus b square minus r square, all of them are constants. Don't forget that a and b represent the coordinates of the center, and r represents the what? The radius. Now, we can reduce this by saying x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2gy plus c equals to 0. I know you might be wondering, how did I get g and, sorry, plus 2fy, I meant to say. Now, how did I get g and f into this? If you compare this and this and this, you notice that this 2 is this x is this. So this minus a has been turned to positive g. The same thing happens here. This minus b has been turned to positive f. Why? The whole of this constant, a squared plus b squared minus r squared, has been replaced with a letter c. Therefore, that is to tell you that a is equal to negative g and b is equal to negative f. Okay? Yc is equal to a squared plus b squared minus r squared. Once you take note of all this information, you won't have any issue with solving any problem related to circle. We are going to have a look at one example. Alright, this is an example question. Find the radius and center of a circle. 2x squared plus 2y squared minus x plus 3y plus 1 equals to 0. Okay, before we solve the problem, there is an information I need to share with you. This is the general equation of the circle, which we have just proven. But in case the center of the circle is at the origin, that is here. So that means A, comma B, which is the coordinate of this origin, will be 0, 0, because origin has 0, 0. Okay? So that means all you need to do is to replace G and F with zeros. Why? Because don't forget, A is equal to minus G and B is equal to minus F. So that means definitely F is equal to minus B and A equals to minus F equal to minus B and G equals to minus A. So that means this G will turn to 0 because 0 equals to minus A. So A is 0. Okay? Or A, since A is equal to 0, that means G is equal to 0. You know there is no negative or positive 0. So take note of that. Now, to answer this question, the first thing is you look at the question given and compare it with this general equation. X squared, y squared here in the question both have coefficient of 2. But if you notice the equation of a circle, the x squared time and y squared time have coefficient of what? 1. So that means we have to reduce this to coefficient of 1 for the x squared and y squared first. That's the first step. So that means what are we going to do? We divide. Let me write the equation down. 2x squared plus y squared plus 2y squared minus x plus 3y plus 1 equals to 0. So dividing through by what? By 2. Dividing through by 2, which is the coefficient of x squared and y squared. So what do we have? We are going to have x squared plus y squared minus x over 2 plus 3y over 2 plus 1 over 2 equals to 0. Because 0 over 2 is 0. Alright. Having done this, what next do we do? The next thing we do is to compare between this equation and the general equation of the circle. So, coefficient of x squared is 1, coefficient of x squared is 1, coefficient of y squared here is 1, coefficient of y squared is 1. Now, 2g x is equal to what? Minus x over 2. So you write that 2gx equals to minus x over 2. 2fy is equal to positive 3y over 2. 2fy equals to 3y over 2. Now, look at the two sides of the equal to. X will cancel what? X. So from here, what will be g? Make g the subject. G will be equal to minus 1 over 4. Dividing both sides by 2. Y will cancel y. Making f the subject, f will be equal to what? 3 over 4. Dividing both sides by 2. So that means, definitely, we have been able to get G and F, which will lead us to the center of the circle. So don't forget that A equals to minus G. So definitely A is equal to, multiply this by this minus, because G is negative 1 over 4. So multiply by this negative, that will now give you positive 1 over 4. So what do you get if you do same for what? F. F is equal to minus B, or B is equal to minus F. B is equal to minus F. So that means B will be equal to, you use negative to multiply 3 over 4, which is for f. So that will give you negative 1 over what? 1 over 4. So that means you have been able to get the center of the circle. So center is a comma b. Do not forget a comma b. That means that will be 1 over 4. Sorry, b is 3 minus 3 over 4. Yeah, 1 over 4 comma minus 3 over 4. Yeah. So you have been able to find the center. All right. We have answered this part. We now want to find the radius. How do we do that? It's very simple. Finally, it is time we find the radius. How do we find the radius? Yes? Any idea from you? Try it. Okay. Confirm whether you are right or wrong. Remember that we wrote C equals to A squared plus B squared minus R squared. So what's our C in the equation we have divided through by 2 here? So our C is 1 over 2. C is equal to 1 over 2 because we divided throughout by 2. You remember? We divided the original equation through by what? 2. That means C is the constant here, which is 1 over 2. So that 1 over 2 will replace this C. That means 1 over 2 equals to A is 1 over 4. That will be 1 over 4 squared plus B is minus 3 over 4. That will be negative 3 over 4 squared. Then minus R squared. So let's do our simple arithmetic. 1 over 2 is equal to square of this will give you 1 over 16 plus square of this will give you positive 9 over 16. Then minus R squared. To find out, let's take R squared to this side and bring 1 over 2 to this side. So when R squared comes here, it becomes negative R squared equals to 1 over 16 plus 9 over 16. Then 1 over 2 becomes negative when it crosses to this side. So do your calculation and give me your final answer. That's the value of R. R is equal to positive or negative square root of 1 over 8. And then you sum up this together. Alright. In the next video, we are going to have a look at another question different from this, which has to do with equation of a circle before we move further. Thank you for watching.